What's really happening in the Palm Springs housing market? Well, today we're going to be looking at some data to help you if you're looking to buy or sell in Palm Springs, make the best decision possible. My name's Tommy Jordan, your Palm Springs area realtor. Let's get right into this. My goal after you watch this video is that you'll know if you're looking to buy a home, what the market's actually doing to help you make a better, more informed decision. And if you're looking at selling, this is going to give you data to understand what your neighborhood looks like or what the overall city of Palm Springs looks like for a home to sell. Are prices rising? Are they declining? So I'm going to help navigate you through all of this. We're going to look at two different kind of categories: houses and then condos. So detached homes and attached homes. And we're going to go through the key most important metrics. Take a look over here on this right hand side. I like this real-time market profile. By the way, all this data comes from my local multiple listing service, and this is actually updated every single day. The data is pulled into the website, and everyone who works with me, they actually get access to this special market report, something I give to my clients. So the median list price right now in Palm Springs is $1 million, $1,050,000. Median price of new listings, $1.2 million. I'm going to give you the overview right now, and then we're going to go in more granular and get more nitty and gritty in the details to why prices are the way they are. You're not going to want to miss this video if you're serious about buying or selling. Price per square foot, $569. Average days on market, 147. Median, 84. Price decreases right now. 32% of homes are having price decreases. 1% of homes are having price increases. 11% of homes are relisting. And then you could see inventory levels right there, 360 homes. And rent right now in Palm Springs, the median rent's $5,000. So let's take a look. This is going to show us the median list price over a longer time horizon. And this helps us to really determine the trends with housing. So if we look back, this goes all the way back to 2021. And you could see right here, median list price shot up, during the pandemic, all of that. And then really since the beginning of 2024, really in the summer months, detached homes started to really finally start making a major decline in Palm Springs. I mean, prices were around 1.3 million in May of 2024. And now in 2026, we're looking at $1,050,000, so we're talking $250,000 difference for what homes were once selling for. But I want to show you something interesting that's happening, because up until, last year, homes were steadily declining pretty quickly. And then we sort of hit a lull, over towards right around August, the end of August. Things sort of stayed stable. And then I noticed sort of the trend, the list price actually picked up again. So earlier this year, homes in Palm Springs that were detached were actually selling for under $1 million, like in that $900,000 range. And now we're actually seeing homes selling for about $100,000 more than they were, beginning of 2025. So this is a really interesting trend. We're going to have to continue to watch. By the way, subscribe to see what's happening with the market, because this makes all the difference with you getting the best price for your home. Let's look at another key metric: median days on market. So you could tell the median days on market is typical supply and demand, right? If median days on market are less, that means there's more buyers, so there's less supplies. When median days on market start to go up, it's because there's less buyers, so housing supply rises. And you could see since the whole pandemic, the housing supply has been rising because prices have been higher, interest rates have been higher, but something interesting has been happening. And you could see a correlation between median days on market and home prices. As median days on market start to drop, then you start to see home prices start to rise. So it's interesting because last year, median days on market, and I like median because you get a better look at what the market's doing than averages. The median days on market, say in August of last year, was 105. Now it's around 70 days. And you could see this trend line over here to the left. Up until 2023, we've been trending between, say, 70 days on market and going all the way up to 112 for Palm Springs for a median. I think once we get lower than around this 60-day mark for the city, and if we get under that, I mean, that's showing me it's turning into, a seller's market again. I mean, right now it's been a buyer's market for the last, I would say, 2 years in Palm Springs. But if we see this continued downward trend on median days on market, we will see home prices go up. And I'm going to give you my special analysis after this. But I just wanted to say, if you're really serious about buying a home in Palm Springs or selling your home, work with an expert like myself. I create a custom market analysis, like custom market analysis for my clients for their specific neighborhood. And I'm selling homes in all of these neighborhoods in Palm Springs weekly. So work with someone who really knows the data to get you the best price possible. Don't be shy. I got to do that because I make these videos to help people like you. So let's check out some other key metrics. Price per square foot is same kind of thing. We see price per square foot declining because less buyers, but now we sort of see it rising up again. Right now, Palm Springs, the 90-day median is $563 price per square foot. So that's interesting. Properties with price decreases, you could see, in 2025, last year, we almost had 40% of homes having decreases on prices. So to try to attract buyers. But now we're seeing actually the 90-day average only a quarter. So we've gone from almost half of the half of the listings having to decrease prices, and now only a quarter of the listings having to decrease prices. And this all has to do with supply and demand. And then you could see inventory. Inventory has been rising, but we see that sort of changing. And you could see the market segments. The market always performs differently depending on it's the higher end of the market or the lower or the middle of the market. You could see homes that are 3,000 square feet plus in Palm Springs, think Movie Colony, Old Las Palmas, those kind of areas. 2.6 million median price with 77 days on market. And everything else is pretty similar for days on market. But this sort of in-between spot, in between, the lower end of Palm Springs, and then sort of the median price, the overall city price, this 600 to 1.2, this $900,000 price range right here, homes are sitting for 105 days. This is interesting because I know in this range, places like Demuth Park, where there's lots of short-term rentals, people flipping homes, there's less interest right now for that. Let's go over to condos, and I'm going to make this sort of short and sweet because the condo metrics aren't going to be too dissimilar than the detached home metrics. Right now, $404,000 for a nice condo in Palm Springs. The median list price are lower right now at $333,000. And like I said, this is very accurate data. It's the day this data comes out. It's pulling it all the time. Price per square foot, $358. And then the median days on market right now is 70. So that's interesting. Let's take a look. Like I said, inventory's been rising, but it looks like it's starting to dip again. Same thing, median days on market was rising because less buyers, more supply. And now it's starting to dip again. It's very similar to detached homes. Same thing with inventory. Inventory is rising, but we see it right at this 300 level. That is a key level. The moment we break for under 300 units for condo and we get under that, going towards 200 again, that's when it starts turning into a buyer's market again. If we look at the different segments, the higher end of the market in Palm Springs for 839,000, those units are selling at 63 days on market. So, a little quicker than the other price ranges in Palm Springs. So that's fascinating. So I believe this year is going to be interesting. This is my analysis at the end of looking at this. And like I said, if you want to make sure you get the best deal or get the highest price for your home, work with an expert, someone who's doing this every single day. So looking at this data, if we have some things come out like 50-year mortgages or really favorable interest rates for buyers, if we see, a lot of money be printed again, all these things that are lining up on the horizon, I feel like it could be a seller's market again. I mean, it's been a buyer's market for the last 2 years, but if we see these numbers start to shift and median days start to go down and super low interest rates again, well, then we're going to see prices go up because it's a simple supply and demand thing. So if you're a seller, I think this could actually be an incredible year for you. If you have a property you bought, let's say in 2022, 23, you haven't been able to sell because, prices have come down to 300,000 and even more in some neighborhoods. This year, you might be able to recoup some of your equity. And if you're a buyer, I would say, I mean, I'm personally under contract on a home right now, full disclosure. So I would buy as soon as possible. And I'm not just saying this, I'm actually, actions are louder than words. I'm buying a property right now because what they're planning to do this year with housing, I made a video about this last week on my channel. If you want to go watch it, I think prices are going to go up again in Palm Springs in a big way. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about the Palm Springs area, like, subscribe, please reach out to me down below. I would love to work with you.